Alright, well, it's been a while since I played Morrowind, so welcome back. I'm doing the main quest of Morrowind, playing with my roguish fighter guy, and I'm going to actually go do this quest once Balmora loads for me here. And my goal of this series, and if you've watched the first 7 episodes, or if you're joining me for the first time, my goal is really to play Morrowind and try to talk about some of the trivia and the lore while I play, so you kind of get a mix of what this game is all about in relation to Skyrim and Oblivion. I think a lot of people haven't played Morrowind. They've actually played the other 2 games. And in many respects, Morrowind is far superior in many ways. Obviously, it's a lot older. It's, a decade old or more. But it's really held up well, and this mod really brings it to life. So as I'm playing, I'm going to kind of talk probably about the lore and stuff, probably while we're walking from place to place. In the meantime, I'm going to go into the Guild of Mages. I've actually got to find an orc mage who I have to do a favor for, who will then tell me some information that I can then take to Caius Cosades, who is my current blade quest giver. And of course, if you played Morrowind and Oblivion, you remember the blades. They're mentioned quite often along with the other lore of these games. So let's talk to this orc, see what she has to say. Cool. Alright, so no interruptions. Are you one of Caius' associates? Ah, that is a different matter. Caius and I have a very satisfactory arrangement, and I'm sure we can come to some sort of agreement if you will complete a little errand for me. So we gotta do something for her. Okay, she needs the skull of Livul Andrano, and we'll find it in the Andrano ancestral tomb. Take care not to upset the natives. The Dunmer, otherwise known as the Dark Elves, have some peculiar primitive prejudices against necromancy and take grave objection to unauthorized tomb visits. So, Livul Andrano obviously was a family member of the Andrano clan, which is one of the houses in Morrowind for Dark Elves. We need to get a skull, recognizing, he's got ritual markings on his skull. And then, of course, they've got a tomb of the Andranos just south of Pella Giad, right off the road. Just before you reach the fork where the road goes southwest towards Sedanin and southeast to Vivek. Okay, so that shouldn't be too hard to find. She gave me a short sword, which is great, because I think I've actually been using a long blade, which is not one of my major skills. So what else? Let's tell me about necromancy. Legitimate discipline in the Empire, though body and spirit are protected property. But in Morrowind, the Dunmer loathe necromancers and put them to death. Alright, cool. Sacred necromancy righteous, evil. It's primitive superstition, that's all. Alright, good. So, basically, that's one of the other lore things, is that, the Empire necromancers are great. Of course, in Morrowind, the Dark Elves hate necromancers. Awesome. Cool. Let me, let's see. We have a fire blade, so I'm going to replace my long sword that I had with that. So that is a bit of an improvement. And I'm going to quick save this sucker, and let's head off. Alright, I wonder, actually I think I can teleport from here. Let's see if I can teleport to Peligiad. Before we do that, let's just check out how awesome
Is it necessary that you speak with me?
Characters.
Sweet moon.
Very nice. I love the depth of field that the mod provides. Makes everything kind of blurry in the background. That is, I can't get over that. Alright, let's see here. We want to travel. I have 231 gold. Okay. The problem is we have to go to... Let's go to Vivek and see if we can go to... Peligiad may not have a mage guild.
What, stranger?
Hey, how's it going? Let's look at the map. World map. And we are in Vivek. There's Sedanin. There's Flaolad. Okay, we've been to all these places. That's Balmora. Caldera, Saran, Molegmar. Okay, this is going to have to be, since I don't have my Morrowind map, we're going to have to do some exploring here, which is fine. I wonder if I can teleport from here, though.
Go ahead, stranger.
I'd like to travel. And yeah, there's no way to get there, so let's go outside. Get to see a new city while we're at it. While we're walking around, one of the things you'll probably see a lot of, and I haven't actually looked... here's this guy's got a whole pile on his desk of the books. And of course, if you've been in Skyrim, you can read all these books. This one, it's mysticism. I thought maybe it would give me a skill point. Some of them give you skill points, of course. All 3 games do that sort of thing. There we go. The alchemy skill went up. And I wonder if I can Well, here, let's save it and see if I can rest in this person's bed. Sometimes it says you can't. Okay, let's just rest until healed and see what happens. Ah, level 2. Okay, so one thing about the skill thing on this game is that you can spend your skills, and you really want to spend your skills based on what the multiplier is. So, like, I've used strength a lot. Affects your health, how much you carry, your maximum fatigue. I obviously need fatigue, like I said. But it's got a 4 times multiplier, so I really want to spend that. One thing you can do is you can get really good at kind of using your skills spread out and actually get ×3 on everything, which is actually a really good thing to do because then you can get a total of 9 points every... I think you might even be able to get one at ×4, but I'm not sure. But regardless, we're going to do agility and speed. Obviously, I'm not going to spend any of my points on the other ones because I only get 1 point on those. So this is the best way to do it. So, okay... Yeah, I remember this. So this is actually a dream that you're having. You can probably kind of hear the voice on YouTube, but I don't know if you can hear it.
Sovereign. Immutable. How sweet it is to be a god.
Yeah, so there's like a voice, and I think it'll leave a journal entry. So let's stick with me here. Yeah, okay, cool. All right. My journal has been updated. Let's check it out. I had a disturbing dream. I can only recall one part. A tall figure with a golden mask led me among the dead as though through a wedding celebration. I heard many voices, but no lips moved. I strained to breathe, but my chest didn't move. The tall figure spoke with each figure as he passed among them, laughing and joking as if they were alive. He said, "Omnipotent, omniscient, sovereign, immutable. How sweet it is to be a god." I tried to cry, but without breath, and my tongue fluttered in vain. Awesome. Cool. Now, one thing I think I'm going to do now that I'm here in Vivek, I think I'm not going to actually go through Vivek, because if I recall, Vivek is a maze, and I just don't want to get lost. I think I know where Pelagiad is, so let us go back to... I can't go to Seyda-Neen, but I can go to Balmora. We'll go back to Balmora. Let's just take one of the Silt Striders and go that direction, because I think it's just easier to go this way. So let's leave... We'll leave the Mages Guild and go this way.
Patience is
and while I'm walking, I'll talk a little bit about some of the lore of Morrowind, because I think it's interesting. And if you haven't read some of the books in these games, and I'm not sure if this particular book that I'm thinking of is actually in Skyrim or Oblivion. I know that they mention Berenzia. If you've heard the name Berenzia, you probably have, because I think I've seen some books about her. And I think the storyline actually continues from this game and on. But in Morrowind, the book that is about Berenzia is really about her birth and her growing up to be a teenager and older, and her early adventures. So if you don't know who Berenzia is, she's essentially a dark elf, Dunmer, who was born in Morrowind, actually to the leader of Morrowind at the time. And that leader of the Morrowind rebels against the Imperials, who of course are represented in Oblivion in that area. And
where would you
hold on,
like
while
to
I can think of 2 things at one time. Let's go to Seyda-Neen. And his city of Mournhold is actually destroyed. I think they actually changed the name of the city after it. I think there's like the ruins of Mournhold or something. But regardless, they... Okay, hold on. So they destroy the city and they find the baby girl, and she is Berenzia, right? So the Imperials actually raise her in the Imperial court, and the Emperor takes a liking to her and all that. So she's actually pretty well set, right? And as she grows up, she obviously makes friends and everything on the human side and the Imperial side. And okay, here we go. And she befriends one stable boy who actually... Okay, Pelagiad's this way. A stable boy who convinces her that the Imperials are planning to send her away to be a concubine, which is not true, but he does it because he's in love with her and he wants her to get away from the Imperial city with him. And he actually convinces her to do so. So they run away to Skyrim, strangely enough, to Whiterun City. If you've played Skyrim, you know all about Whiterun. And eventually they end up in the thieves' city of Riften, hiding out. Now, when they're in Riften, this stable boy, who I believe his name was Straw, strangely enough. And I'm not sure if Skyrim has any mention to him at all. But Straw... hold on, let me make sure I got this thing equipped before we go out into the wilds. And I'm actually going to do a quick save while I'm telling this story. But Straw convinces her... Well, he wants to convince her that they need to rob this Imperial guard post or whatever the Imperials have in Riften, and she doesn't like the idea. She's not too comfortable with it, so she actually basically tells on him, actually goes to the general who's in Riften, the Imperial general, and tells. What's funny enough is the Imperial general in Riften, Samkus, I think his name is, he actually is in Riften looking for Berenzia, and she stumbles upon him. So he obviously foils the plot of the kids, and they take Berenzia back to the Imperial City, and she gets married to him and has kids and all that sort of stuff, and actually becomes, has kind of a quiet life in the Imperial City, and that's kind of where the tale ends in Morrowind. And I might do a little more research before my next episode and see where that story goes, but kind of wanted to regale that. This is one of the cool bits of lore that if you actually spend time reading the books in Morrowind, you find out about. So look at this. This Pelagiad's area is pretty pretty. I love what the mod does, and I've said this in my episodes before, but it's like playing Skyrim, really. I mean, I know that Skyrim has like a Morrowind mod, but it doesn't replicate the gameplay correctly, and it doesn't really replicate the feel of Morrowind that you have when you play it. And I'm glad to see that a lot of people in the comments of my previous videos have been commenting on how this, if you haven't played this game, you really have to play it. I don't feel like the gameplay is that dated, really. I mean, I feel pretty good about it. So, check it out if you can, if it gets to get it to work on your computer. I know it's not always an easy thing to get these kind of mods working, but I think this is Pelagiad. And this is where I may get close to ending it, but yeah, that's right. Pelagiad, I don't think it has a Mage's Guild, nor does it have a Silt Strider. It's more of an Imperial city, as you can tell by the structures. Because obviously Morrowind's a combination of both. Dagath calls you, CerealSnax, and you cannot deny your lord. The sixth house has risen, and Dagath is in its glory. He is the Lord and Father of the mountain. He sleeps. When he wakes, we shall rise from our dreams, shall sweep our land clean of the Noir. Why have you denied him? As Lord Dagath has said, all shall greet him as flesh or dust. The sixth house, the sleeping house, House Dagoth, House of Lord Dagoth. The true house, the one house welcome to all true Dunmer, and drive the Noir from our land. Rejoice and join us. Come to Red Mountain and prepare the way for his coming. I believe Dagath is like the main bad guy of this whole game, anyway. Alright, so what am I supposed to even be doing? Okay, let's go to previous here. South. Okay, so we need to go to this tomb, which is south of the road. What's this guy up to? Fort Pelagiad. No travel sources. Cool. And I don't have an opportunity to even do this. So, let's go south the best we can. Do local. Let's just head south and see if we can find this tomb. I think I'm going to end it here as I go into the wild, and when we start back up, we will be looking for the Andrano ancestral tomb. So join me then. We'll see you then.